Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Man, when are men going to learn? You just can't win if you're arguing with the woman, if it's getting physical with the woman. Once the confrontation starts, men, you lose. Simple. It's just how it is, right? And if it's to that point, you got to find the strength to get away from the situation. If it's temporarily, for a day, a couple of days, I know if you have kids, it's hard, but it ain't worth going to jail. Now, what I will tell you is, this thing with Jermell, Charlo, and also his brother Jermell, people kind of coming out on him because of the ups and downs in his personal life with his wife, but there's a lot of fighters who've gone through it. Floyd, Tank, recently Bivol. Hell, Jim Lampley back in the day went through some crap. But my thing is this, right? Let's hold our horses and wait till we get more information on old Jermell. But there's an audio out there floating around where it sounds like he's bragging about hitting, a female in the eye. And how she was acting really tough. Then when he hit her in the eye, she basically turned into a female, and she called the cops on him. But what I'll say is this. It's just not worth it. Now, I don't claim to be an expert in dealing with these situations, but what I will tell you is after 25 years of being in positions where I had subordinates, 15 years of being in a position where I was dealing with the morale of our units and dealing with family matters, people issues, right? 15 years of that. I'm going to tell you right now, people talk about the physical abuse, right? And men and women too, but we're talking about boxers and these guys, the men getting hemmed up. Let me tell you something. When you talk about abuse, it's not just physical. There's mental. There's physical, mental, verbal. You understand? Psychological. There's emotional abuse. There's so many different categories when you're talking about abuse. And all of those can get you in a shitload of trouble with law enforcement. So going forth with Jermell Charlo, look, obviously he's mixed up in something that's not positive. I think the reason why because there's a lot of people like, oh, they're making a big deal about Jermell. They didn't say nothing about Bivol, Floyd, what about Tank Davis? Now they want to come and take Jermell Charlo and throw all his stuff out there. Listen. You know why Jermell Charlo is underneath the magnifying glass right now? Because he's a male who sounds like he hit his wife. There's audio of him doing it, of him bragging about hitting a female. Don't know if it's his wife, but there's audio of him bragging about hitting some female. And he's a high-profile athlete, okay? In addition to that, he's very controversial, very confrontational, and he's always out here. He's been out here for years, seeming like he's on the edge of doing something crazy. Him and his brother. So the fact that now he's always been so vocal, and he'll do this and do that, and almost like he's an Al Capone, right? So it looks like Al Capone went all the way this time. And people out here wondering why so many people have converged on him. It's the same thing with what I'm talking about is being vocal. It's kind of like with Clarissa Shields. She is very vocal. Bums, it is bum, this guy's a bum, she's a bum, I beat this, I beat that, I want to fight this, fight that, I want to do this, do that. As soon as that little clip came out of her getting tranquilized, oh man, everyone went and most people converged on that and had a field day with it because they were tired of hearing her mouth and her attitude and her behavior. Now, I'm not saying no one's right or wrong. What I'm telling you is that's kind of how it works out. People are like, finally, we got something on her. And she's embarrassed. And with him, for all these years of hearing him rant and rave, which he can do that. There are a lot of people who are happy that, okay, they finally got his ass for something. He's always talking, you know, and look at what he did. He went and played tough guy. He couldn't do it with Canelo, but he had to do it with his wife. Those are the comments people are posting. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, I want to wait till I get more information, man, but I will say this. Fellas, got to learn. You can't win. I'm telling you, you can't win. All right? You can't be out here just thinking you can haul off because a woman is getting in your face and y'all are arguing or whatever's happening. You can just hit her. So you can grab her. You can't even grab her. You know what I'm saying? That's unwanted touching. That shit can be categorized as assault. You cannot touch them. They cannot touch you. Y'all think I'm crazy, man. Someone getting in your face, you want to hold them and restrain them, you can't do it. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I was young once. I remember my goal when I was, I think, not just mine, my buddies and I, we used to play the numbers game, right? But the objective was in 30 days to have, tackle 30 different females. And that was the goal, a girl a day. And we used to be out there putting in work, talking, meeting females. And that was our thing. We weren't in about a whole bunch of nonsense. There was a lot of haters, but our thing was just the ladies. And when you out there dealing with a bunch of different females, I'm telling you, you're going to come across some that, you're just like, she coming through the yard, you want to take the water hose and spray her ass down, like, get your nasty ass out of here with your bad attitude, There's some out there that make you want to just lose your cool with them, but you can't do that. You can't do that. There's women being born every day, man. You sitting here going crazy over this one. I know it's tough when you have kids. I do. But with him, my concern is going forward. What about his career? You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen? Because his wife is now filed for divorce from him and a restraining order. So it's just all bad, and I feel bad for the kids. The kids are being affected, everyone's affected, but those kids, man. And my understanding is he's in a kind of mixed family. I think he maybe had some kids, or the wife had some kids before, and they may have some kids together. But it just really, it messes with my energy when I start thinking about them kids, man. If you follow the channel, I talk a lot about the kids and some of these fighters and the kids, and I like the relationship with them. And when you see these guys on, whether it was on YouTube and whether it's Showtime or you see them doing interviews with different podcasts and see them there with their kids and stuff, you almost start feeling like you know these guys. But at the end of the day, if it's true that he, hit his wife or whatever, not good for him. And they got to figure it out. Because I tell you what, even if you have ups and downs like that, I'm telling you from experience, you'll be in that honeymoon stage when you first meet somebody and things are going good. It's where you're laughing, joking, having a whole lot of sex. Things are going great. But after that kind of dies down a little bit and you start spending more time with each other, then you start finding out that there's certain things that kind of annoy you a little bit about them. Maybe someone laughs a lot. Maybe they're on their cell phone too much. Maybe the guy lifts up the toilet seat, doesn't put it down, or he keeps it down and pisses on the toilet seat. Maybe the girl, she wakes up in the morning, she want to shower at night, not in the morning. And you're like, you're nasty ass, you need to shower. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things you start to learn about people. The more time you spend with them, you're like, this ain't the person that I was attracted to. The more you learn about them. And then what happens is stress starts to creep into the relationship, and those stressors can push people into what they call that phase of the abuse starts. And that's where, like I said, that's psychological, verbal, emotional. You know what I'm saying? And when all that starts, that's where you have problems. Physical. And what happens is a lot of times there's something called victim's guilt. The person who's being abused starts to feel bad, especially like in this case, his wife called the police on him, and you could see them come back and make up, and then they start laughing, joking, having a whole lot of sex again because they go back to the honeymoon stage. But what happens is, if they continue in the relationship, that's where things start getting brought up. As soon as a little bit of stress hits, and they start throwing things in your face. Okay? And what happens is just a violent cycle that they either need to get out the relationship, or get professional help. So best of luck to Jermell Charlo. And I'm telling you from experience, going through some of that shit, but seeing it firsthand. Years and years of seeing it. I remember we had a guy. This guy, man, lifted a whole lot of weights. Was a big dude, man. And his wife, he was talking to me one day, right? True story. He was talking to me one day. And we were both talking about how there's some guys whose wives, right? His argument was his friends, their wives would let his friends go away for a day, like on the weekend, and party and not come back home. And they never questioned him. The guy come back, everything at home is smooth. And he was watching that and he was like, damn, how come I can't do that? Because he liked to ride motorcycles, right? And he was talking to me about it. And I said, he said his wife was always arguing with him and shit. And he's like, all I want to do is go to the gym and lift weights, and on the weekends go hang out with my boys. And I was like, okay, I hear you. And I told him, I was like, well, look, you have 2 small sons at home, right? Your wife wants you to spend time at home with them. It sounds like she don't mind if you go out, but you want to go out, leave the house at 8 on a Friday and not come back to 2 p.m. on a Sunday. I was like, you got to understand, you have a commitment there to your wife and those kids. I said, and you're mad because your wife not letting you do what you see in your friends' wives allow them to do. I said, how about this? Your friends are gone from Friday, Saturday, coming back Sunday. I was like, what do you think their wives are doing? He was like, at home being good, women waiting for him. I was like, how you know that? I said, how you know that the wife can't wait till the weekend to come here for her husband to leave so she can go out here and hook up with somebody? How you know that ain't her thing? I was like, so you thinking the grass is green on the other side. It may not be. So what you think happened? I got a call. Hey, so-and-so, because he was underneath me. So-and-so, word is, they were in church. The wife was talking to someone in the church about how he punched her in the face or something, right? And she had a little bruise on her eye. And this is a military community. So, she says something to one person, some person says something to someone else, and all of a sudden it ends up getting all the way back to our organization. And in the military, you can't, they got mandatory reporters. You can't sit there and do shit like that and somebody find out, because if, let's say you and I are friends, and you tell me, and you tell me that, hey, my wife hit me. And I'm like, okay. And then I don't say nothing, right? And both of y'all in the military. Then next week, you end up dead. And then we find out it's the wife who killed you, right? And then the word is, hey, Hood Champion was told that there was abuse taking place. And then I get questioned. I'm like, nah. And somehow they have proof that I was aware of it. Then I get in the world of shit. So these people ended up telling his leadership, and I was part of his leadership. So it came to me, and I was like, all right. So I got hold of the information first before it got to the fools over there who are going to eat his ass alive. So I called him, and I was like, come here. And I said, yo, this is what I'm hearing. You don't have to tell me nothing. The only way I can help you is if you tell me what's really going on. I was like, they're saying you hit your wife. Now, he's a big dude, man. Big dude. And I was like, it's saying her face, she have a little welt or something under her eye. He was like, nah, that ain't true. And he was like, she said that's not what she said. And, they're pissed off because of the people in the church, because the church is out there telling their business and lying on them. I said, okay. I said, well, this is what you need to do. You need to talk to your wife and get on the same page. I was like, because they're looking to take your stripes. That's what they're looking to do. And they're looking to court-martial you. I said, so if your wife says you hit her, I was like, you in trouble. I said, but if y'all both going on the same sheet of music, I said, you okay. So long story short, it ended up working out for them. And they ended up relocating. And he basically, whatever they talked about was like, look, just deny it all. And I think they're still together. but I know that his wife was really big. She was heavy. He was really in shape. He was built like a cartoon character. And I know his wife felt a kind of way about him being kind of in the gym and trying to go out. And she felt like, hey, well, there's some things I want to do. And she had a big ass mouth. Big ass mouth. I'm going to tell you that. That woman had a big mouth. And I was like, yo, how he dealing with this crazy ass woman, man? But I don't know. Maybe he did have a little Ike Turner in him. But I do know that if there was some shit going on, they both were smart enough to say, nah, we don't want to get these people involved in our family, because the first thing they do out there, man, they start wanting to come to your children and ask your children questions of what did you see? What did daddy do? What did mommy do? And when that starts happening, it's just all bad. Because next thing you know, you lose custody of your kids. It's not a good feeling. That being said, with Jermell, I hope they get this shit together. I hope they can sort things out. And if they want to separate, cool. Don't get the law involved. Don't get lawyers involved. But sometimes that's the best thing to do, man. But at times, that just makes it even worse. It's not fun. I feel bad for him. But at the same time, if he put his hands on her, he punched her, it's a lesson learned for him, because, man, you know, it ain't easy. It's easy for people to sit back and be like, screw Jermell Charlo. He's a punk. He beats women in. Screw him. Wicked sorcery. Yo, man, if you ain't ever been in them situations, man, you can't talk. That shit is not easy to deal with. Same thing with women who have these crazy men. I mean, it's not easy to deal with those situations. But at the end of the day, once you recognize you're having something like that, man, you gotta bounce. But when you're married and with kids, that shit is not easy. It is not easy. I ain't defending him. I'm just saying he's just got to learn that there's a much better way of dealing with things than ending up in a toxic relationship, doing something you regret, and ending up in jail. Jail's not cool. I'll tell you that right now. Y'all keep cool. We'll see what's going on with Jermell. See what the future holds. If he can continue fighting. It's just a lot up in the air right now. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.